Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Carney Porter.
And I'm Daryl Franklin. More deputies with the Wichita County Sheriff's Office are expected to take the stand when testimony resumes tomorrow in the trial of Anthony Kienlen. This
follows a standoff between Kienlen and multiple law enforcement agencies outside his home on Turkey Ranch Road in October 2021.
Josh Hoggard was in the courtroom today for the first day of testimony. He joins us now with a recap of today's proceedings. Josh.
Guys, Anthony Kienlen's trial began as every trial does, with the presiding judge reading the indictment, charging Kienlen with 1 count of attempted capital murder of a peace officer, 16 counts of aggravated assault of a public servant. But the moment quickly became anything but routine when Kienlen pleaded guilty to almost every charge alleged against him, only pleading not guilty to attempted capital murder. Testimony got underway this morning with opening statements from prosecutor Joe Vrichek, who argued that the fact that Kienlen wore body armor during the several-hour standoff contradicted claims he was attempting to commit suicide by cop, adding that Kienlen was enraged by text messages he found between his wife and a former lover, and the events of that day were an attempt to lure that man to his home and kill him. Kienlen's defense attorney Dustin Nims then addressed the jury, arguing that Kienlen has, quote, wanted to die every day for the last 15 years, that he suffers from mental health issues stemming from his time serving in Afghanistan, and that he only threatened to kill responding officers in an effort to provoke a response so they would shoot and kill him. With that, the prosecution called its first witness, Wichita West VFD Chief Ryan Fetzer, who testified that he flew his personal drone over Kienlen's property during the standoff to assist law enforcement already on the scene. Photos and videos taken from the drone were shown and reviewed in front of the jury, with Chief Fetzer describing the situation. During cross-examination, Fetzer testified that he captured video of Kienlen firing 12 rounds, none of which were actually aimed at law enforcement. The next witness for the prosecution, Sergeant Roy Biter with the Wichita County Sheriff's Office, who was a deputy in October 2021 when he responded to Kienlen's residence. Sergeant Biter is the person named in the indictment charging Kienlen with attempted capital murder, the only charge Kienlen pleaded not guilty to. He testified that he feared for his life when he felt a shot fired by Kienlen come within a foot of him before dash cam footage from his patrol unit was shown to the jury, showing Sergeant Biter ducking behind his unit as gunfire rang out, with clouds of dust visible from rounds hitting near the deputies. The final deputy to take the stand today was Jason Vandigriff, who arrived at the scene with Sergeant Biter. He recalled the moment when Kienlen allegedly opened fire, testifying that he heard glass shatter from the windows of the patrol units. He testified that the feeling of bullets flying by was hard to describe, almost like a breeze, and that the sound of them whizzing by was actually louder than the gunfire itself. He testified that he feared for his life and the life of Sergeant Biter, and began thinking about what he'd have to tell his patrol partner's family if he died, saying he relived the day's events 1,000 times after he left the scene that day. Now, we still expect several more Wichita County deputies to take the stand, including the Wichita County Sheriff himself, David Duke, as well as a few Texas Rangers. And Kienlen's wife, Abigail, is also included in the state's potential witness list, as is the alleged other man that she was communicating with before all of these events transpired on October 13th. Now, we'll be back in the courtroom tomorrow when testimony resumes, and you can follow along with us with minute-by-minute updates from inside the courtroom at our live blog that's going to be found over on our website, Texomashomepage.com.
All right, we'll see what's to come of that in the coming days. All right, Josh, thank you so much for bringing us that update.